Welcome to Kadampa podcasts. These podcasts offer practical solutions to daily challenges and help guide us to a happier and more peaceful state of mind. In each episode, you will find an extract from a teaching given by one of various Kadampa Buddhist teachers worldwide. All these teachings are inspired by the profound wisdom of Venerable Geshe Kelsang Gyatso Rinpoche, a Buddhist master for our time. We hope you will enjoy listening.
The most negative state of mind is self-cherishing. Self-cherishing. Sounds a bit like self-love, doesn't it? But in this context, we're saying self-love is our wish for ourselves to be happy and then working towards fulfilling that wish. Here, self-cherishing is defined as our mind thinking, I am important, whilst neglecting others. So the key thing to note about this mind is it's not able to see the goodness of others. It's not able to think they're kind. It's not able to be happy when others are happy because it's completely absorbed into ourselves. So even though it seems like a good thing to do, cherish myself, in reality, it's the main cause of all of our emotional problems. It's a self-important mind. Self-important mind that exacerbates, turns the volume up on all our problems. Like the spotlight comes onto ourselves. So if there's anything wrong with us, it's completely blown up out of all proportion. That's why as soon as we can get our mind back out of ourselves, back onto how fortunate we are again, and all the kindness of others, that reduces. And then it releases all our pleasant feelings. But when we become completely absorbed into ourselves and the mind can't see our good fortune or can't see the good qualities of others or the happiness of others, it makes us miserable. It says in the book, there's a couple of things I've highlighted. All disharmony, quarreling and fighting come from self-cherishing. With self-cherishing, we hold our opinions and interests very, very strongly, and we're not willing to see a situation from another point of view. So like a little mistake happens in the mind, whereby we start to think we're right. We forget that happiness is coming from this nice states of mind, and we start to confuse ourselves thinking happiness comes from this person knowing that I'm right and them knowing that they're wrong. And it becomes more and more involved and absorbed into this point of view. And it just wants to shut down that other person, wants them to buckle to my view. And so any nice states of mind start to disappear. And we're actually becoming increasingly unhappy. But because of ignorance, we believe we're going to stay in this state of unhappiness until they realize I'm right. Once I get them just to say sorry, once I get them just to know that I'm right, then I can get on with the job of being happy. But it's a trick, because the actual thoughts and states of mind that make us happy have gone. All there is this great big me and I'm right, taking up the entirety of our mind. So even if they say, all right, I'm sorry, we're still not happy. And one of the reasons we're not happy is because we don't really like the person we are, because we've forced our will upon someone. And it's not a good quality. And on some level, we know it. So even though they've said, I'm sorry, even though we've managed to get them to say we're right, even though we suspect they don't fully believe it, they haven't fully accepted that we're right. Like part of the mind now thinks they're just saying it. They're just saying it, shut me up. But maybe they are because they're a bit terrified of us because of our anger. But now we still think, now they're just agreeing with me. And I don't like that. Like if someone was observing the situation, they'd say like, you've now got what you want and you're still not happy. And we're like, yeah, because I haven't got it in the way I want it. They don't truly see that I'm right. They're trying to appease me. And it's making us more selfish. It's making our ego even bigger. It's making us more angry. You see the difference between caring for ourselves and this self-absorbed mind? And then self-cherishing makes us feel depressed whenever our wishes are not fulfilled. Because that mind believes that the only thing that matters in the entire universe is my wishes. Because the only thing occupying our mind is me. And that's why our wishes are the most important things in the world. And our wishes are usually causes of suffering anyway. Like we normally wish for things that ultimately give us anxiety. You know, I want people to think this, or I want to go there, or I want this, or I want that person, or I want this. All of these things make us dependent on things beyond our control. And if we don't get them, we become miserable. This is what we call samsara, you know, like you can't win. With a self-cherishing mind, it's just all pain, one way or another. Yeah. As one of our teachers, Gen Kelsang once said about samsara, which is the experience of a self-centered mind, she said, if you don't like being wet, there's nowhere in an ocean you can be where you'll be free from being wet. Like if you're in an ocean and you think, oh, that bit over there looks a bit drier, I'm just going to swim on over there because it looks a bit dry. And when you get there, you think, it's just as wet as over there. That's because it's an ocean. And everywhere in the ocean has the nature of wet water. In the same way, anything that's motivated by self-cherishing mind is always going to be painful, sooner or later. If we examine all the times we have been miserable, so I mentioned this earlier, we will discover that they are characterized by an excessive concern for our own welfare. Has anyone ever had trouble sleeping? Right? You have trouble sleep. Say you didn't sleep very well. You wake up at 4, haven't slept very well, right? Who are you thinking about? Oh, there's so many people in the world who are not sleeping very well. No, we're thinking, if I don't sleep very well, I'm not going to look very good, and then everyone at work is going to look at me, and I'm not going to look right because I need to look good to fit in at work. And now that I'm not sleeping well, I don't look good. Yeah? Or if I don't get enough sleep, I'm not going to function very well. I need to get sleep so I look good, so I look well, so people think I'm happy, so that I function well. There's all of this network, like web of interconnected, self-related nonsense. And then even if you sleep really well, there's always someone who will say to you, gosh, you look awful. Did you sleep all right last night? Have you ever noticed that? Like on the day where you sleep really well, you're feeling on top of the world, you get to work, and someone says, crikey. Like, what? You didn't sleep very well, did you? And then we feel tired. But before they said anything to us, we felt great. But as soon as someone says, you look tired, we think, right, early night for me tonight. So this all I related. No freedom, you know? Right. All the problems of human society, such as war, crime, pollution, drug addiction, poverty, injustice, and disharmony, all a result of self-cherishing. If everyone were to practice cherishing others, many of the major problems of the world would be solved in a few years. So next time someone says to you, you really need to start thinking about yourself more, you can say, how dare you? All of the world's problems. No, don't say that. Don't say that. I always find it ironic when someone says that to us. Think of yourself more. Because who are they thinking about when they're saying it to you? You. So they're probably quite happy because their mind is on you. Do you know what I mean? You really need to think about yourself. You need a weekend away. I think you need a holiday. You need this. So they're probably feeling really happy because they're thinking of someone else. And so because they feel really happy telling us to become more selfish, they're convinced they're giving us the right advice because they're getting all these good feelings. You know what I mean? We love them, of course, because they're giving us attention. And we're like, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, maybe I do this little long weekend in Spain or something. Treat myself to a long weekend. Yeah, treat yourself to a long weekend in Spain. Then when we get to Spain by ourselves, following the advice of our good friend who's really happy, maybe even drove us to the airport, full of the joys of spring, bought us a coffee when they picked us up and everything, just feeling so happy because they care for us so much. And then when we get to our little apartment in Spain, lonely. I'm on my own. Meanwhile, our friend is on their own, feeling great because they're just thinking of us. Oh, I hope they're having such a good time. Do you see this relationship? There's nothing wrong with going to Spain, by the way, or having a good night's sleep, or eating well. Nothing wrong with it at all. It's just this mind. I think we're planning a weekend retreat in Spain, by the way, for the Leeds Sangha next November. So all going well, we can all go to Spain and we can have some winter sun and meditate on love. What a perfect combination. Controlling self-cherishing is of great value, even temporarily. All worries, all anxiety, and all sadness are based on it. The moment we let go of our obsessive concern for our own welfare, our mind naturally relaxes and becomes lighter. So when someone says to you, you know what you need to start doing? You need to focus on yourself more. What are you going to say? You don't have to answer that out loud because I'm going to tell you. You're going to say, thank you. It's very kind.
If you feel inspired by this podcast, then dive deeper into the timeless wisdom of modern Kadampa Buddhism by following the link in the episode description. We look forward to reconnecting with you in the next episode of Kadampa Podcasts.